Yeah, we'll just let people join in as we start. Okay, so welcome back. I hope you guys had a great weekend. A few reminders, I guess, before we get started with the material. So keep in mind our contest is still on. Winners will be posted in 2 weeks and featured on the Girls in CS website. So when these classes are over. And for those of you who signed up for Technovation, we will be having a quick meeting this weekend, which I will provide more information on in an email. Okay, yeah, but moving on. Today is going to be a very exciting day. At 4 o'clock today, we will be having a guest speaker come and talk about her experience in the computer science field, any challenges she ran into, and how she overcame them. So if you have any questions about what an actual career in computer science is like, I would encourage you all to ask her. She's extremely friendly, so don't be shy to ask. And yeah, I hope you guys saw my email yesterday and prepared a few questions to ask our speaker. But I guess if you didn't get a chance to do that, just go ahead and jot a few down right now. And yeah, that's it for the updates. But for now, we will be starting an introduction to loops and functions. Yeah, I gotta show you guys the agenda, but this is our agenda. So yeah, we'll be going over loops and functions. Loops and for loops. And then after that, we will cover functions and parameters, I guess, if we have time today. But yeah, so next slide, actually. Yeah, so what are while loops and when can we use them? So I guess to understand that, it would be helpful to interpret this code. So take a moment to read it, and when you guys are ready, any of you guys can unmute or just text me in the chat and explain how this piece of code works. It shouldn't be too bad because it's very similar to the examples we did last week and in the homework. But if you guys are stuck, I will definitely help you guys out. Okay. So I'll give you guys a few moments. So if you guys think you have it, you can either message me in the chat or you can unmute. And for those of you who need help, I can give you a few pointers. We have a variable over here, which is storing information using an input function. And we have an if-else. So it's up to you now to find out what each of those functionalities do. Does anyone think they know the answer? If not, I'll go ahead and explain it. Okay, so I guess I'll explain it. Okay, so we have a variable over here called my_number. So my number is 10. And what we're doing in the next line is that we are asking the user for input. We are prompting them to enter a guess. So when they enter, whatever they enter will be stored in the variable guess. And this int kind of thing we're doing over here, remember, that's called typecasting. So we're changing the data type of whatever the user enters into an integer, because we are comparing two integers together. So like, yeah, okay. So like in the next line, in the if statement, we are comparing the user's guess with the user, right? Yeah, we're comparing the user's guess with the number stored in my number, which is 10. And then if those two numbers are equal, then we're gonna print out, good job, you guessed it. So like at this point, it's kind of, we can like see it's kind of similar to a guessing game. And then, yeah, so if it's wrong, then we're going to print, sorry, wrong number. Does that make sense to everyone? If you guys are having a hard time understanding that, I can go through it with an example. So if you want me to do that, you can like, I don't know, put up an emoji or something just to see where you guys are at right now. Or a thumbs up. Is that a no? Okay, if you guys are like shy to ask, okay, I'm gonna go over it anyway. But okay, say the user enters in 5, okay? Let me see, I got a message in the chat. Okay, some people understand. I'm just going over this in case, but yeah. So let's say guess equals 5. We're gonna check if guess, which is 5, is equal to my number, which is 10, we're gonna print good job. But since 5 is not equal to 10, we are gonna go to the else and print sorry, wrong number. Okay, so remember in if else's, if the condition is true, then we are gonna do whatever's in the else block, in the if block, and then if it's false, so we're gonna do whatever is in the else block. Okay, so let's go to the next part. And yeah, so this is a guessing game, right? But isn't it kind of sad that you only get one chance to guess the secret number? So what if we want to let the user keep guessing until they guess the right number? So this is where loops come in. Well, while loops basically allow you to repeatedly check a condition and execute code. So while a condition is true, do this. That is the format it's in. And it's basically, I guess, it's not really hard to memorize the format because I guess it's similar to how you would use while in a sentence in real life. So like, yeah. So I guess it's kind of self-explanatory in that way. But I guess we can move on to our first example. Let's see. What's our first example? Okay, I'm gonna go through this with you guys. It's still a new concept. So, okay, in this example, we are checking. So we have the variable my number, which is 5, and then we're doing while my number is greater than 0. So while 5 is greater than 0, we're gonna print my number, which is 5, and we are kind of resetting. I would say resetting. Yeah, we're like resetting the value of the variable my number to my number minus 1. So I guess using the number that we have, my number is 5. So while 5 is greater than 0, we are going to print 5. And then we are resetting my number to 5 minus 1. So my number equals 5 minus 1, which is 4. And then after we do that, we are going to go to the second kind of iteration. So they're called iterations. We're going to go to the second iteration where my number becomes 4. Okay, since this condition is still true, since 4 is still greater than 0, we are going to print 4. And then we are resetting the value again to my number equals 4 minus 1. So it's kind of hard to understand, I guess, since I'm talking in the air, but I think this would be, I think I'm going to type it up and then run it and show you guys how it works. Okay, so, and you guys can do the same. So like, if you haven't already gone to Trinket and opened it up, I would encourage you guys to do that. And then, yeah, I'm going to do the same. So we're going to test this example out. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So go ahead and copy this down. So we're printing and then we're going to assign it a value. Print my number. Okay, and that is it. Oh shoot, I think I went to a new window. Okay, you can see it now, but yeah. So this is the code. Yeah, okay, this is the code. I'll give you a moment to copy it down. And when you're done copying it down, I want you guys to go ahead and run it. Okay, so when you run it, you will see the output is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So basically what this does, I'm gonna bring up the annotation tool. Yeah, this is so cool. Okay. No, that is not what I want. How do I delete this? Okay, sorry. I'm gonna use the drawing tool. Okay. So, yeah, so my number is 5 right now. I'm just going through it step by step again. So while, shoot, I got a text. Here doesn't work. Shruti, did you, wait, what's your output right now? Like, is it showing anything or is it just blank?
It shows nothing.
Okay, maybe try, did you save your trinket? Like the save button? You might see it, it doesn't show it for me, does it? So if you didn't save it, just go ahead and save it. It might not be running because it
can't assign to the operator on line 7.
I think, okay, I'm gonna ask you to share your screen. It might be easier that way. So yeah, go ahead and share. Okay. Oh, okay. So, you might wanna, okay, comment out the code above it. It might be getting confused with, yeah, it might be getting confused with that. Okay, or you could delete it, yeah. Can't assign to operator on line 2. Okay, let's see what that is. I think I think it might be because you're using a dash. Let me try that on mine. I don't know if Python supports the dashes in variables. So let me see. Yeah, okay. So yeah, you can't use dashes. Maybe try an underscore. Where is that? That's like on the same. Yeah, sure, that works also. Yeah, that should work. You have another dash. So okay, cool. Yep. So if anyone else had this issue, you might want to check if you have any syntax errors like that. So yeah, Python doesn't support what's it called? Hyphens or dashes in variables. Okay, cool. I'm gonna reshare. Cool. Does everyone else have it working, or if not, I can help you out. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna go through this with the annotation tool. Okay, let's see how this works. So my number is 5, right? So we are checking while 5 is greater than 0, and I'm gonna write like 5. Oh my god, that sucks. Oh, okay. I wish I had a whiteboard. So while, you know what, I'm gonna, okay, I should have figured out how to use this before, but I'm gonna just write it on the side, okay? So we are doing while, and I'm gonna replace the variables with the actual values so it's easier to understand, okay? So while 5 is greater than 0, you're gonna print 5. So on the console, I'm gonna make a separate box for the console. This is cool. Okay, this is the console box. So it's gonna print 5 on the console. Oh my God. No, I didn't want to do that. Sorry, guys. Okay, you know what? I'm replacing that. We're starting over, okay? So we're gonna do while 5 is greater than 0. Print 5. Okay, so I guess let's just imagine it prints 5 on the console. So it's gonna print 5. And then what we're doing, we're gonna do my number, the variable my number, equals 5 minus 1. So that's 4. Should I say, I'm gonna say this is 4. So my number equals 4. And then since this is a loop, it goes back to the condition and checks while 4 is greater than 0. What's it gonna do? Who thinks they know the next line? Or can someone tell me the next line? So we changed the value of my number to 4. So what would the next line be? It's not a trick question. Okay, but okay. So we're gonna do print 4. And the reason we're doing print 4 is because this is just the second iteration of our loop. It does the exact same thing, except the number, the variable my number is just being updated. Okay, so we're gonna print 4, and then we are gonna reassign the value of my number, which is now 4, to 4 minus 1. And what's that? That is 3, right? Yeah, that's 3. Okay. So since the condition is while the variable my number is greater than 0, when do you guys think this loop will stop? Does anyone have an idea?
0
What do you think it would be?
at 0 or
Yeah,
1?
great. Good job. So it is at 0. Let's see, how do I explain this? So this whole thing will repeat until 0. So I'm gonna go ahead and write that down quickly. So it'll be like while 3 is greater than 0, we're gonna print 3 because my number is equal to 3. Then we're gonna do my number equals 2. And I'm gonna skip down to, I'm just gonna skip down to 1, okay? Leave a few dashes here. So it's gonna go to while 2 is greater than 0, print, sorry, I'm skipping down to 1. So while 1 is greater than 0, print 1. I'm just moving the box up. Print 1, and then, oh my God, my number is now gonna be equal to 0. So the condition for our loop was that, as Shruti said, while has to be greater than 0. I mean, my number has to be greater than 0. But now that, okay, while 0 is greater than 0, now that 0 is not greater than 0, whatever is inside of this while loop will not be executed. So when it checks if 0 is greater than 0, since that is false, nothing will happen beyond that. So let's see what we have so far in the console. So we have a 5 over here, 4 over here, 3 over here, a 2 technically, which I just skipped because yeah. We have a 2 and we have 1. Okay, so it prints 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And is that what we have? Yeah, let me just run this again. Okay. Wow, this is hard to use. Can I cross this out? Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna run this one button. Yeah, and see, that's what we have. So we have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So while loops aren't really tricky to understand. I guess if you get the basic concept, you should be able to understand it pretty quickly. You know what? I think that goes for everything though. But yeah, with more practice, you guys will get a lot better at this. So I think now let's go to the next example. Where is that? Okay, next example. This is basically the opposite of what we did. So using a while loop, write a program that starts from 0 and counts up to a number given by the user. So the output would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So see if you could do this using, actually, I'm going to leave this over here. Yeah, see if you could do this with the code we just wrote. And if you need any help, you can ask me in the chat or unmute, or you can wait for me to explain it in like 3 minutes or so. Oh my God, it's almost 4. Oops, okay. I'm gonna give you 2 minutes because we do have our guest speaker session. Okay. Okay, I think that is 2 minutes. So I am gonna go ahead and do the opposite. Let's see. Oh. So the only difference we would make in this code, we're gonna, since what is it? We're starting from 1 and we want to go till 5. So our starting number is going to be 1, and we're going to change the condition to while, let's see, starting from 1 and we're counting up. So while, oh, hold on. Oh, no, opposite of that. Okay. So instead of, I think I'm going to shorten it and just say counts up to a given number. So we're just going to do like 5 for now, instead of doing the whole input thing, because I don't think we have time for that. But yeah, we're going to do while 0 is less than my, yeah, okay. So while 0 is less than my number, we're going to print my number, and then we're going to do, okay, I'll give you guys a moment to go through that. Okay. Actually, wait, I think it's better to do this one. Well, I'll do my number, 5, changes to 0. Okay, see how much time we have left. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm gonna fix the recording, and then I will reshare. Okay, I think. Okay, we do have our guest speaker in the waiting room. Okay, so I'm gonna quickly go through this. I just had to fix the recording thing for the guest speaker, but basically, we have a variable called my number, and we set it to 0. While 0 is less than 5, we're printing the variable my number. So we're printing 0 first, and then we're reassigning the value we're reassigning the variable to the variable plus 1. So my number equals 0 plus 1, and then the value is updated to 1. And then it goes again through to the second iteration while 1 is less than 5, and then checks while 2 is less than 5. And yeah, it goes until 5. So this is what we want to output. And yeah, I think, okay, we did go a little bit over. So hey guys, for those of you who just joined, welcome back. And I guess while we wait for more people to join, you guys can drop in something fun you did over the weekend in the chat. I think we'll wait for like 2 more people, and then we can start. And are you guys able to hear me properly, or is my voice breaking up? Because I got a message in the chat. Okay. Okay, it's breaking up. Okay, I'll give it a few minutes and then it might be better. Okay, is my voice better now, or is it still kind of bad? Okay, so it's mostly better. Okay, I guess I'll keep my camera off for a little bit, maybe 10 more minutes, it'll get better, but yeah, I guess we can get started then. So, yeah, welcome back everyone. I hope you all had a great weekend. So unfortunately, today is the last class of Girls in CS Introduction to Computer Science class. I hope you all learned a few things about coding over the last 8 weeks. For me personally, this was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed teaching this class, and I love the fact that, oh, can you not hear me? Okay, yeah. I love the fact that, you guys were so active in participation, and even last class, especially, the questions you guys asked our guest speaker, those were really insightful. So great job with that. Yeah, I guess it really shows me that you guys are really learning something and you like coding. So I guess I'm gonna miss seeing you guys every Wednesday, and I hope you guys are excited about coding and technology after taking this class. Okay, so first things first, let me try to get my camera on actually. My voice still okay, or is it breaking? Can you guys hear me, or is it breaking up? Oh no, it's breaking. Okay, I'm gonna turn off my camera, I guess. Okay. Yeah, so I guess I'm gonna stay like this for a bit longer, but yeah, thank you for informing me. I guess before we get started, I do want you all to fill out this post-class survey. I'm sharing a link in the chat right now, so you guys can take some time, like 5 or 7 minutes to complete that. Okay. So it'll give me like some sort of understanding on how much you guys have learned in these classes. And actually, while you guys do that, I'm gonna try to rejoin the meeting. Actually, wait, I can't do that on post. I'm gonna rejoin my audio, okay? So if you guys talk, I won't be able to hear you for a sec. Okay, if my audio is better, just put like a thumbs up or let me know in the chat. And I guess there are some like short answer like questions. You guys can feel free to like write in bullet points. So whatever works out for you guys better. Okay, so I think we do have a new participant. So actually, let me reset the thing. So as it is our last class, we are just completing a post-class survey. Yeah, I'm giving you guys a few minutes to complete that. Let me send it in the chat again. And once you guys are done, just let me know so I know when to move on. And we can get started after that. So I just put up a thumbs up or some emoji if you get done. And can you guys hear me better, or is my audio still breaking up? And you guys can like feel free to message me in the chat or unmute, whatever you guys are comfortable. Okay, it's better. Okay, so that's great. Okay. Okay, we got one more participant. So right now, we're just completing a post-class survey. So today is unfortunately our last class. So I'm gonna just go ahead and link that in the chat again. And you guys can take a few minutes to complete that. Is anyone done with the Google Form? Just put done whenever you guys are done in the chat. Okay, great. We got one person. Good job. And remember, guys, your responses don't have to be too lengthy. This is just for me to get a good understanding of your understanding on coding. So yeah, the survey is really important for these classes. Okay, I'm gonna try to give you guys 2 more minutes. We do have a lesson to complete today. Okay, great, we got 3 responses. Okay, keep them coming. Okay, good job, guys. And yeah, if you guys like these classes, then we can definitely share with more girls to get like, you know, same level of understanding. Okay, you guys got about a minute left, so try to finish now. Okay, we got 2 more participants. So guys, right now we're just completing a post-class survey since today is our last class. So I'm gonna link that in the chat again. And yeah. Okay, I'm just scrolling up to paste it. Okay, so I pasted the link in the chat. And yeah, go ahead and fill it out and let me know when you guys are done. Oh, and Miss Lozano, I'll update you at the end of the session. I got some good updates. So. Okay, we got 4 responses now. That's great. Okay, I do think we should start the lesson since it's getting a bit late. But for those of you who are still working on it, please get that finished because it's very important to this organization. And yeah, I guess we'll get started. Okay, yeah, and for today's agenda, I forgot to mention, yeah, so we will first, so we'll first be completing the warm-up on while loops, which we covered last class, and after that, we will learn about for loops and then learn how to use functions and parameters. So if you guys are done with your survey, think of it as an exit ticket, I guess. But once you guys complete that, please go ahead and work on the warm-up, and I will go over the warm-up in just a few minutes. Oh, Kayla, I missed your message. Okay, it works. Okay, that's great. Okay. Yeah, so if you get the survey, just finish that now, and when you're done, we can work on the warm-up. Okay, I'm gonna go for the warm-up in just a minute. Let me see if we got any new responses. Okay, we got 5. Good job, guys. Okay, cool. So, yeah, see, it's 3:50. Okay, I think I am gonna go over the warm-up now. I think we have like 2 or 3 more people who haven't finished the survey. So again, make sure to get that finished during class. And yeah, for now, I'm just gonna go over the warm-up. Okay, another person finished. Okay, that's great. Okay, so for the warm-up, I have a pre-written response. So basically, let me reread the question. So, okay, we have a mystery number. Okay, so we have a mystery number, and we want to prompt the user to guess a number and store that value in a variable. Okay, and then using a while loop, we want to check if the user guesses our mystery number or like our secret number. And then if it doesn't guess it, the program runs again and prompts the user for another number. So, okay, standard while loops. So in solution, what we have is my number is our mystery variable. So this is the variable that we will compare each of the user's guesses to. So, oh, my voice is breaking. Okay, I'm gonna turn my camera off for a second. Okay, is my audio better now? Just let me know in the chat. Okay, it's better. That is great. Okay, so continuing. Guess is our string variable that stores the input from the user. And again, this int over here is what we're doing with the int is typecasting. Again, if we want to perform any mathematical operation with a number given by the user using an input function, we do have to convert it to an integer, since the default data type of any variable with the input function is a string. So int, remember, just converts the string to an integer since we're comparing 2 numbers in the while loop. So yeah, after that we have our while loop. We're saying while guess is not equal to my number. So while the number that the user entered is not equal to our secret number, Then we want to print, okay, sorry, you got the wrong number. And then we want to let them guess again. So this line over here, again, we're just giving them another guess. And as it's inside the while loop, it'll keep getting executed until the user gets the number correct. So the main thing to understand, like the most important thing to understand over here is the condition in the while loop. So again, when it says while guess is not equal to my number, that means that this piece of code will keep executing until guess is equal to my number. Okay, and then after this while loop, okay, when this while loop ends, the only way it can end is that if this condition over here is false. So it ends when guess is equal to my number, or in other words, that is when the user guesses the correct number. So when the user guesses 10. So after that, when that condition is false, it exits the while loop and goes to the code outside of the while loop. So in this case, that is this print statement that prints, good job, you guessed it. Okay, so that is how it works. If you guys want, you can compare your code to this and maybe make some changes to your code, and then we can move on to for loops. So we aren't spending too much time on reviewing while loops because I think we did a lot of review in the past 2 sessions, and we do need to cover for loops. And yeah, so for loops. Okay. Okay, and instead of like, let me turn my camera on because it's hard to talk with my camera off. But I did say we were gonna cover functions and parameters. That isn't one of the core principles of like Python programming. So it is okay if you don't talk about that if you don't get to it, because okay, my voice is breaking again apparently. I'm gonna turn my camera off, but so it's okay if you don't get to that because we do need to cover MIT App Inventor, which is pretty short since it's pretty straightforward. But for those of you guys who are interested in learning about functions and parameters, then feel free to stay behind in office hours, and I can explain it to you guys then. But yeah, I guess when you learn about functions and stuff, it really shows you how far programming can really go. Okay. So hopefully you guys were able to make the appropriate changes to your code if you had to. Yeah, I guess we could start on for loops. Okay, and I got 6 responses for the survey, so good job. I think that is everyone. Okay, great. Yeah, so for loops. For loops are pretty similar to while loops in the sense that they are both like kinds of loops, I guess. But like a for loop executes the given code a predetermined number of times, and you could really think of it like a repeat command. So like it repeats code a specific number of times. So let's actually, yeah, let's look at the example. Oh, whoops, I forgot to go to the next slide. But yeah, it's basically like a repeat command. So, if I want to repeat a piece of code 4 times, this is the syntax I would do it in. Okay, so let me explain this a bit. So first of all, the format of a for loop is for I in range num do something. So in this, I is a variable. So technically you can name it whatever you want, but I is what is commonly used. So you could do like for x in range num, like it could be anything you want. But yeah, that variable is also called the iterator, because it's called the iterator. But the tricky thing to understand with loops, I guess, at least for me, the value of the variable I changes with each iteration. So I guess let me go through this example on Trinket. Okay. What's wrong? Okay. Actually, I'm gonna create a new trinket. And you guys can do this as well to kind of explore, you know, how for loops work. It is pretty cool. Okay, so I'm just creating a new trinket and then we can go through it. Okay, so what happens when I do for I in, yeah, for I in range. Okay, yeah, so the output is 0, 1, 2, 3. So basically the reason for this is, again, I is basically at any, okay, I guess at least one point in this for loop, I takes on the value of any number of each number from 0 to 4. Okay, I guess a better way to explain it is I by default starts from 0, and the value you specify here is the last number in your range. So for I, which is equal to 0 in range 4, print I. So in for loops, the I variable automatically increments. In other languages like Java, which you guys will learn next year if you guys are in high school or in 8th grade right now. But in Java, you will have to specify. Okay, let's just say in Java it's a bit different, but there's more flexibility in Java. But anyway, sorry, I kind of lost track. But this is the basic way of writing a for loop. If you do want to specify like a range other than like 0 to a number, then you could also do, I think it's like 2, 4. Yeah, so if you specify a starting number over here, it will do the following line of code 2 times. So like from 2 to 4 is 2, right? So then it will go from 2, and then 3, and then 4 is, this isn't inclusive of the last digit, so it's gonna go till 3. Okay, honestly, I think like a better way for you guys to understand is to actually try it out by yourself. Took me like a lot of practice projects to finally get like an understanding of this. That was for me, but you know, hopefully something like that would help you guys to understand better. So, I mean, one way to try it is also print hello. So, you know, experimenting like this. So this one prints hello 2 times. Again, since the range is from 2 to 4, you can also do like 4 minus 2 is 2. So, you know, hello will print 2 times. If I just leave it as 4, you know that it'll print hello 4 times, right? Okay. So you guys, I want you guys to experiment in similar ways. But once you guys are ready, I do have an example I want to go through with you guys. Let me know when you guys are ready. And by then I'm gonna try to get my audio better. I think my video is really glitchy right now, so my audio probably sucks also. Well, today I'm having so many computer issues. Okay, anyway, moving on, we have this example. Is this the first one? Yeah, this is the first one. Okay. So what we want to do with this for loop is create a program that finds the sum of all numbers in a given range. Using the variables x and y. Okay, yeah. And you can use the variables x and y if you want. So I'm gonna do this with you guys since we just learned about for loops. And yeah, let's get to it. So find the sum of all numbers in a given range. And when learning like new languages and stuff, I don't know, when you're like, I don't know, but like if you're ever given like these projects to do, finding the sum of like a range of numbers is probably one of the most basic things you should know how to do. So, you know, even in Java, if you decide to take it in high school, this the algorithm is mostly the same. So this should be really helpful. So I want to find the sum, right? Okay. So I'm gonna create a sum variable. So just for the purpose of, I don't know, being more clear. So I'm gonna declare sum 0 in the beginning. And I know that, okay, I want it in, find the sum of numbers in a given range. Okay, so since it's in a given range, I'm also gonna declare my range. So I'm gonna do like x equals, I don't know, like 5. Sorry guys, I keep putting semicolons, but yeah, Python doesn't use semicolons. And my second range, I'm gonna put as 10. So basically what we want to do is get the sum of all numbers from 5 to 10. Okay, so we know how to do the for loop between two numbers, like the range from one number to another number. So x comma y. But how do we get the sum? So for sum, you have your sum variable, right? For sum, you're going to want to keep adding this I value, which is each number from 5 to 10. So like 6, 7, 8, 9. You want to keep adding this I value to the variable sum. So like what happens, I think Python supports this syntax. I'm pretty sure. But if it actually, to be safe, I'm just going to do sum equals sum plus I. Okay, so if we do this, which will work, but if we do this, what we're doing is that we're, in each iteration of this loop, we're adding the value of I to a constant variable. So like in the beginning, I is 5, so sum is going to equal 0 plus 5, since like the value of sum right now is 0. So sum equals 0 plus 5 is 5. And then I will be 2. So then sum, which now has a value of 5, will now be sum equals 5 plus 6, since the value of I is now 6. Okay, you know what? I'm going to run it and show you guys so you can see for yourself. And actually, what we're going to do after that, we also want to print it out so we can actually see our result. Print sum. Yeah, okay, that should work unless I got the syntax wrong. But okay, so I got 35. Let's just see if that's correct. Sum of numbers. Oh, what? Okay. Because they don't have the actual answer on here. Okay, but I mean, we could also verify that by ourselves, right? We can just do. Okay, to see if this is correct, we'll just do 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9. And remember, oh my god, totally forgot to tell you guys, but when you are defining a range, yeah, that was my dog knocking at the door. But when you are defining a range, remember that it won't go all the way till y. So like it'll always go to y minus 1. So instead of getting the sum of all numbers from 5 to like 10 inclusive, it'll go to 5 to 9. Like, okay, so when we run this, where's the button? Yeah, so when we run this, we get 35. So again, it's not like we're adding another 10 over here because remember, it's not inclusive of the last value. So it's gonna go from 5 to 9. And I guess it can be tricky because it's easy to forget something like that. Okay, so now for you guys, let's see. Do I have another question? Are there any questions actually? Any questions about like the I variable? I don't know, I'm just trying to remember what I had difficulty in when I was learning Python. Yeah, that was something else. Anyway, if you have any questions, please feel free to like unmute or text me in the chat if that's more comfortable. Because yeah, this is a really important concept. It's used in honestly all languages. So please let me know. But I guess you guys can think while doing this next project. So this is pretty similar. Oh my god, this is like really similar. Okay, so let's see if you guys still remember input. Wait, do I have a question? Okay, yeah. So, okay, I got a question asking me to explain the variable thing again. Okay, yeah, sure. So I will explain it again. Good question. Okay. So, okay, yeah. So again, I is a variable, meaning you could replace it with honestly anything you want. So I'm just gonna say, you know, okay, I'm just gonna say none. Change it over here. But so the variable over here that goes after the for, before the in, is your iterator, meaning it changes with each iteration, with each kind of looping of this piece of code. So basically, num by default starts from 0 if there's no specified value like x over here. So like the default value of num would be 0. Basically, another thing to keep in mind is that automatically when it goes from, so this is a loop, right? So automatically when this piece of code is executed, num will plus plus. So like num will increase or increment by 1. So this is not shown, but actually happens behind the scenes. And fun fact, in Java, you actually have to write that yourself. Okay, yeah, but this line over here happens behind the scenes. So the value of num, which is 0 right now, will increment to 1. And then it'll keep incrementing until it reaches the value of y, minus 1, I guess. So like, I think I should use an example to explain. So like, okay, I'm gonna use that same example, just printing out num. To print num. Okay. And I'm doing all this. Okay. Oops. Okay. What does it say? 4 iterates over list in order. Okay. Again, we're just gonna have to use I. So let's see, 4 to I. Oh, my bad. Ignore that. Let's do 5. Okay, yeah. So as you can see, okay, so I'm gonna explain this step by step. Num started from 0, right? And we're going all the way to 5. So think of it like this num variable will increment each time until it reaches 5. So the value of 1 at the beginning is 0. We're printing num. Then why don't, okay, I got a question. Then why don't you go inside? So, okay, good question. I think it's because the way I'm explaining it, it's not very easy to understand. So I'm gonna, okay, I wish I had a whiteboard, but okay, I'm gonna try to draw this out. So I think I confused some of you. So we are going inside. So num, the value of num oh geez, value of num right now is 0. Okay, so when it's 0, you go inside, because 0 is still less than 5. Remember, when num is equal to 5, it stops. Okay, so when num is 0, you go inside the loop and then you print num. Again, that will print 0 because the value of num is 0. And then remember the hidden code is num plus plus. So automatically this code will the value of num will increment, and then it'll become not 0, but 1. So the value of num will be 1. So again, it does the same thing. 1 is less than 5, so then we're going to go ahead and print num. Value of num is 1. So it keeps on doing that until you get to 4. So again, 4 is less than 5. So we're going to print 4. But then when it gets to 5, 5 is not less than 5, so it's not going to print num at all. That's why, I guess that's also another reason it doesn't go all the way. Like it doesn't print the value you specify over here. It goes to 1 minus that. But I guess that is the gist of looping. Did that make sense to you guys, or are you guys more confused? Okay, maybe put up a thumbs up for good and what emojis are there? Okay, no, actually just text me in the chat if you are confused on something, or put a thumbs up if you're good. Okay. This is a confusing concept, so I wouldn't expect you guys to get it all at once. Most of you guys are good. Okay, so you got it. Okay. Well, that is great. Thank you for your questions, by the way. Great participation. But let's see, do I have one more question? Okay, so you don't get 100% of it, but you get kind of, okay, so that's good. I guess we'll hopefully reach that 100% with more practice. So let's see if you guys can ask the user for two numbers that are not equal to each other. Okay. We did kind of do this, but let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna change this question. Okay, I'm gonna change this question so it's a bit more difficult because we just did a question like this. So we're gonna ask the user for a number. But we're gonna ask the user for a number. And then we're gonna also ask them for a string. And a string. Okay. So using the number and string, we're gonna repeat that string. We're gonna repeat the string the number of times that they specified, if that makes sense. So repeat the string user a number of times okay. The same number of times as the number you got from the user. Okay. So go ahead and do that. Yeah, let me know when you guys are ready. Okay, so if you guys need help understanding that, I'm gonna help you guys out a bit. Using this really cool annotation tool on Zoom. Okay, so ask the user for a number. So num equals, oh my god, and don't forget to typecast it, guys. So we're gonna convert it to an int after we get input from the user. So I'm just gonna say user input. So int user input. Hopefully you guys remember what I put in there. Remember, it's like a normal input function. So we're doing input, and then in parentheses we'll put whatever we want to ask the user. And then the same thing goes for string, except you don't need to typecast it. So string equals, remember, user input. So we're saving whatever value that is in those variables that we, in those variables. And in the for loop, remember that, and this will be starting from 0. So remember that the range can be specified. So I'm gonna say for your range, make it num. And then inside the loop, you're going to be printing the string. Did I actually name that string? Okay. Word. Okay, we're gonna print word. Hopefully that helps you guys. And I will go over it in just a second. Okay, you guys have put a thumbs up when you're done, and then I'll know when to go over it. Okay, so I think should I go over it? Let me see. Okay, is anyone done? Or is anyone stuck? If you guys are stuck, I'll go over it. Just want to see how many people are. Okay, so since no one said done, I'm gonna do. Some of you guys are stuck, so I'm gonna go ahead and go over this stuff. Well, let me remove my annotations. Okay, one person's done. Okay. Okay, so again, what we're doing, we're getting input from the user for a number and a string. Okay, so we're first going to define our input functions. So now we're going to get input from the user. So remember, input is in this form. So you have the input keyword, and then you're going to ask the user. I'm just going to remove these and just going to. So great, we have a value in num now, and then the word, which is the thing we're going to repeat. Okay, and again, you don't need to typecast anything here. The reason is, actually, yeah. I'll say that in just a second, actually. So for our for loop, we're gonna do for, let's just do like I. Okay, so who can tell me what to put in these parentheses? How many times do we want to repeat it? It's the same number specified by the user, right? So what would I put in there? Here's a hint, we got a variable for it. Does anyone want to guess? Or does anyone know? Okay, but the number we would, the value we would specify in here is num. So remember in our in the directions, it says ask the user for a number and a string, which we did. And then we want to repeat that string from the user the same number of times the user specified. So we want to repeat this this many times. Okay, so show you guys how to do that. So for iRange num, which is how many times we want to repeat it, we're gonna do. Okay. So yeah, back to what I was explaining. The reason you would typecast here and not here, the reason for that is because word is a string and all we're doing is printing it out. But num, you can't repeat a piece of code with a variable that is of type string. So remember, the default data type of the variable that uses the input function is always going to be string, right? But to actually use that variable and do mathematical like operations or use specific functionalities of it, we're going to have to convert it to an integer first. Okay, so after we do that, we can put num over here and then we can print word that many times. So let's go ahead and try that out. So I have a lucky number. I like 8. Cool. So you know what? Let me choose a smaller number so it's easier to see. We're not do like 2. What word should I put? 5. Okay. Great. So you can see it worked, right? So we have our word from the user, hi, and it's printed out 2 times, again, which is the number given by the user. Okay. Did everyone understand that? I guess what parts were tricky about this for future reference, you know? Or what parts do you want me to go over again if they're not clear? Because this is a pretty important concept as it is used in a lot of other coding languages, you know, and for Python itself as well. Don't be shy to ask because, you know, we're all learning in this class. Yeah, just let me know in the chat if you guys are comfortable with that or if I unmuted. You know what? I think we have time to go over functions. So functions, okay. I'm gonna move on to functions if there are no other questions, but you know, oh wait, do we have a question? Okay. Okay, that's what it was. Okay, so we are gonna quickly go over functions. We do a few minutes. So functions, not a big thing, but it's really okay. So functions just allow us to break our code into smaller parts. It is easy to to understand for people reading your code, and it is very helpful in avoiding repetition. So functions can be called throughout your code if you don't want to repeat the same piece of code multiple times. So that's just the functionality of functions. Again, a very, very small concept, but you know, I guess the basic format of it is just the def keyword, and then the name of your function, and then, that's it. You just paste your code in, and then, yeah, there you go. You have a function. Okay, so I kind of overestimated on our time, but I did want to share a few things before today's class ends. Let me get that set up. Okay, so first of all, I want to thank you guys all for joining. Thank you so much, Ms. Manzano, also for all your support and encouragement for the kids. I do want to start off by going over the winners of our contest. As I mentioned earlier, and you guys, I guess you guys can turn on your cameras as well. That would kind of make it more communicable. I don't know. But it would be great if you guys to turn on your cameras. I can see Ms. Manzano. Great. I can see Valentina. Good job. Okay, great. I can see you guys. But yeah, thank you so much for joining. I do want to go over the winners from our first session. So as I mentioned earlier, students who participate the most will get a chance to be featured on the Girls in CS website. So I guess I'll just list off the winners now. I don't think all of them are here. Hopefully, if they watch the recording, they'll get to know. By the way, is my audio okay? Yes. Okay, if it's not, just message me in the chat whenever. Okay, great. I can see you all. Okay, yeah, so back to the winner. So first place is Lillian. Lillian, if you're watching this, thank you for all of the questions in class and being fully engaged the entire session. So good job. We have 3 places altogether, by the way. So second place goes to Shruti, which we do have, I think. Shruti, yeah, okay. Second place goes to Shruti. Good job, Shruti, for all your contributions in class. And your great enthusiasm and like answering all the questions and stuff. So good job there. Third place goes to Kayla, by the way. Thank you so much, Kayla, for being on top of all the coding exercises and answering questions. So good job with that, guys. Okay. And I will reach out separately to each of you guys with like a few questions. And I probably will ask for you guys to share like a picture of you that you'd like to be posted on our website. And actually, I think what would be easier for the 3 of you guys that I mentioned, I guess 2 that are here. Could you guys like put in the chat your Discord usernames or like a phone number, whatever form of communication that works well for you guys, because like we would have to like contact you guys about that. So, and it is kind of like hard to know who's on Discord, but I guess while you guys get that done. Okay, I see a few. But yeah, so good job, you guys. I guess that is it for today. That does bring us to the end of our session. But before we end, I do want to share a few tips with you guys. So I guess now that you all have a basic understanding of what coding entails, I would suggest you guys sign up for like some more introductory courses on like Udemy or Coursera for free. They are free, so that's like, yay. But yeah, you can also like work in small groups because it's like always fun to code that way. I would also like to emphasize that like coding related competitions or like contests or hackathons are the best way to stay in touch with technology. You do like, it gives you a place to apply all your knowledge that you've gained and also like learn more and work on like your team building skills. So, they're really fun, especially like the in-person ones where you can stay overnight and stuff. So that's pretty cool. So my recommendation is just like, be really active and stay on top of whatever comes your way. Go ahead and take part in those free challenges or hackathons, and yeah, you guys will learn a lot. So the activation challenge that I shared is definitely very fun. I'm not sure how many of you guys are participating since I didn't see like too many signups, but if not, you should definitely try that out. So, yeah, one more thing, our Discord server will be available for you all to stay connected and, interact with each other or with me in the future. Maybe you guys will join a hackathon or do some competitions together. That'd be pretty interesting. So like, yeah, you never know. But whatever we do, I wish you the best in everything. I will be like always here to answer any questions in the future and guide you through like your tech journeys. So feel free to like ping me on Discord or email me whenever you need help or guidance. I'd love to stay in touch. And especially you guys are almost, I think a few guys are almost done high school. So if you guys need help in like course selection or like, for me, I'm majoring in comp sci. I kind of already decided, but if you guys also have the same ideas and stuff, and you need like help on like summer programs, stuff like that, or course selection, I could definitely help you guys out with that. So, reach out to me anyway, whatever works best for you guys. But yeah, thank you so much for joining this. It was great to get to know you all. So yeah, if you guys have any questions or comments, you can stay behind. But yeah, I wish you guys all the best in the future.